Sadly, one of the leading causes of death among teenagers in the U.S. today is suicide. But for many parents, it's difficult to spot the signs when teens today are facing an entirely new set of challenges. In A&E's new show, Undercover High, a team of young adults pose as high school students and give us an inside look at what it's like to be a teenager today.
For this project, 7 adult participants will immerse themselves into the typical life of high school students.
As soon as I smell the hallways, it brings me right back.
So many teens are battling some major life struggle.
It shocked me.
We in the education field need to try to understand them a little better.
I dealt with a lot growing up, but nothing like this.
I want to know what's really going on.
Cops, drugs, fights.
I don't think adults really get how hard it is to be a teenager right now.
We wanted to know just how do we make schools better.
To make this work, you have to be all in. Change your lifestyle to be an 18-year-old again.
Parents have no idea what's going on in high school, but now they will.
And joining us now is Nicolette, one of the undercover adults, along with psychotherapist Stacy Kaiser, who served as a consultant on the show. This is a fascinating inside look into what's going on today in high schools across the country. I want to ask you, Nick, what made you decide to pose as basically an undercover teenager?
When I was in high school, I had a very challenging high school experience. My parents passed away. I got emancipated when I was 16, and I got pregnant my senior year. Having those experiences made me feel, when I heard about this, that I could actually transcend what I went through into advice and encourage and help other students who may be experiencing similar adversities persevere.
Well, that being, I mean, you pulled it off. You went to high school and people thought you were, I mean, how, if I may ask, how old are you now?
I'm 22 years old. I was 21 when I did the show.
What was the biggest challenge of doing that?
I witnessed a lot of adversities that the students were experiencing, and personally endured some myself, such as bullying and harassment and slut-shaming due to being a teen mom in high school again. And having to balance being an adult and an undercover student was one of the most challenging parts of itself. I wanted to stand up and say, hey, you're being disrespectful. You can't just tell somebody, but now sexual exploitation is normalized.
And Stacy, my question about this is, there's so many things that are impacting our teens. I think it's increasing too in terms of the risks, because we know that teenage suicide attempts are up, especially in teenage girls. It's twice as high as it was 10 years ago. But even though the suicide attempts are higher in girls, the suicide completions are higher in boys because they tend to use more lethal means. And sometimes none of this is sort of on the surface. There's all of these things that are happening that parents don't understand. So what would you say in terms of tips for not only the teenagers, but also to the parents? What are the takeaways?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the suicide element, because Nicolette actually encountered something that happens a lot nowadays. She befriended a girl, and the person sent her a text that said, or a Snapchat that said KMS, which stands for kill myself. And so it was something that she, as an adult, had a hard time fielding, and it was something that we had to take care of on the program. And so one of the things that I would really encourage parents to do is, first of all, know sort of those symbols, like what KMS is and things like that, and also make sure that you really stay connected to your kids, that you build relationships with them, that you don't ask them how their day was when they walk in the door, that you wait until you guys are at dinner, till they've relaxed, till they've unwound. And the other thing is, stay connected with their teachers, with their coaches, make a connection, because they might just be the person who lets you know that your kid is not in a good emotional place.